How are you?
We're great. Will you join us with a dance for our theme song?
Oh, yeah, of course. She's so cute. I wonder if I should have this head down a little bit.
So much fun.
Just a little bit down. There we go. How's that?
Wonderful.
Okay, super.
So, you and I have met as several times, but the first time that we met was at your cover shoot for Mr. Warburton magazine.
Yes.
And you were absolutely stunning that day. I probably learned more about you that day just by watching how truly liberated you were as a person. So there's no wonder why you're a huge star.
Oh, that's so nice. That was such a beautiful day, wasn't it? Derek has become a very dear friend of mine, as have you, but it was a real celebration of a new moment in my life, and to be able to be styled, by Derek is one of the pleasures of my life. Of course, it's his magazine, but he put a little special magic on me that day. The costumes were just unbelievable and inspiring. It's always fun to be put in something else and have the personality kind of take you over, especially when you're doing a photo shoot, because a photo shoot is different than I'm used to. Obviously it's not a moving picture, but he made it as much a moving picture as he possibly could.
Yeah, and so that really was able to allow you to come out of your shell, is putting you into...
Oh, it's fun. I mean, that's what I do in my life.
Yeah.
Obviously, I get to transform and be so many different people. But that's the day I met you, the beauty guru. That's how I was introduced to you, Robyn.
Thank you. Yes. And for those of you that are wondering, I'm going to go ahead and share our shoot. For those of you who have not subscribed to Mr. Warburton magazine, this is actually the second time that I get to interview Anne. The first time was for the beauty column for Mr. Warburton. So here is your cover for the magazine. And, again, you are so liberated, and the shots that you gave us and the story that you told that day was absolutely amazing. So if you guys have a chance to go to Mr. Warburton magazine, please check that out. And I'll stop that and go back to our questions here. More recently, I saw you speak at a charity event. You've been doing some amazing things through COVID. You've been contributing to different charities and inspiring people all over the city, all over the world right now during this time where we're just feeling so down. So you really are a light.
I feel honored to be here. I think it's incredible what you're doing, and being an entrepreneur myself, I know how difficult it is to grow any business. And right now, growing the business of Better Together with Anne and Heather, which has been an opportunity for us to bring more knowledge into our lives through interviewing people and embracing who they are.
What would you say to those of us in business who have partnerships, and what about partnerships is the key to making things successful?
The self-identification, I think, is the first step to empowering yourself. The choice that we are given here on this universe, and in my opinion, choice is our biggest superpower. And being able to make the choices that you want drives you to be able to wake up in the morning with joy, look at yourself and go, hey, what did I do yesterday, and how can I fulfill or be more of that today, because it brings me joy. And of course, joy is contagious, so you help others. When we talk about a partnership, we're all good at certain things. You don't get to where you are alone. People often think that we put celebrities in this spotlight or on a pedestal. It takes a village to get me to be able to have the privilege and dignity of what my success is.
Absolutely. And I would have to agree that mindset is definitely the key to success.
But the most successful thing that I wake up every day, I'm like, I can't believe I did it. I gave my children a stable foundation. I gave them a home. They've always had a roof over their heads. They've gone to private school. They've never wanted for anything. And that, for me, to have that success in my life and be able to say that now is the real win.
You're saying is your best business decision.
Investing in yourself and what you want so that you can get through the difficult times. I mean, I work 24/7. My kids say my favorite bedtime is sunrise. I like to work. I like to create. You are responsible for creating your work, creating your environment, creating where you sit, creating where you stand. And if we take responsibility for where we're standing and say, I got myself here. We don't blame anybody else for getting us here. Then we have the result is the joy that you feel in your life because you're stepping where you want to be stepping because you made that commitment to you. And people see that and feel that and want that. And that's what generates more success.
Absolutely. A lot of us entrepreneurs now have to be in the public eye. What would you say to those of us now having to have such a public persona online with this new world change?
So first, I would say find a way to enjoy it, so that you're interacting with something that's an art form, rather than negating the fact that it's a part of your reality. Listen, they can like it or not. If you get a little bit more than 50%, hey, you're doing pretty good. But if you're looking to that to be what guides you through what your next steps are, then again, you're giving away your power to somebody else to identify what it is that works for you.
That is a very key point there that you just said is that, you know, you give it out so that it can be received.
You always have a fork and you always have the decision to make about how you're going to interact with the relationship, with the facts that you're given or what people say. You have the choice. That again, it goes back to our superpower. I can choose to activate myself in one direction or another.
Is there anything particular that you look for when you frequent an establishment?
You can pretty much walk into anywhere and you can tell if it's a loving space or not. I think we gyp ourselves out of acting on what we know. We always know. You can look at somebody in the eye one second in and you understand their capacity to see and be seen. So it's the same with an environment. We always get the feeling. We always know what we know. We just choose not to act on it. And I think the biggest rule for me, or one of the practices that I try to encourage in myself and in others, act on what you know. Passion with which we treat ourselves and others, combined with our intelligence, gives us the ability to make logical choices.
Absolutely. For those of you who are just joining us, I am here with Emmy award-winning actress Anne Heche.
Hi there.
An icon and inspiration, a pioneer, an extremely brutally honest woman, which is why I brought her here today, so that you guys can get a glimpse of what authenticity looks like, right? Just
Robyn, thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah, no, of course, because it's what it takes to become major. You embrace all the quirkinesses about yourself and about who we are when we're moving forward as entrepreneurs. The times that we can agree we've been the most successful is when we've followed our passion, we've made a logical choice, and we've been completely authentic.
We need to be able to have the door open to the ask, and as long as we are sitting willing to be in anybody else's dynamic with a conscious heart that says, I'm here to help in any way I can. We do have the right to say, like, no thanks. Like, we don't have to be friends with everybody. Sure. And that's our right. We get so into relationships where we're chasing, again, speaking from experience, rather than looking at what we know, identifying it and being like, yeah, maybe I'm out. Like, no thanks. Exactly. And that, again, in business or personally, to actually act on what we know, not always what we wish we knew.
Right. Exactly. And finding our tribe. I have a question from Marina. She said, during the building blocks of your career, what barriers and hurdles did you encounter and how did you overcome it?
That's a very big question. I appreciate it. But, when you stand up and try to create a revolution for love, there are some repercussions.
Indeed.
When you deposit who you are, if you think about every single step that you take when you're making a decision, that you deposit has its ripple effect. It will ripple and triple through exactly what you deposit. So we don't think that that's a powerful notion, to say, I matter, because we're not taught we matter. But the second we make a determination and a decision, that path is going to have one path. So for me, it better be true, because the further away it gets from that, you start becoming the thing that becomes the barrier between you and the truth. And that's where the blocks you start getting, bulldozed by the consequences of your actions rather than empowered by them. And my repercussions were huge: fired, blacklisted, didn't do a studio movie, might have toppled some. But for me, I went, why are people treating each other without equality and justice? I want to make that my study. For 20 years, that has been what I've done. So those things that we think are the mistakes that come along the way, or the things that would just blindside us, are actually the gifts and the messengers that say, hey, wait a minute, we're here. When that action that we take is the carrying. When we hear from others, sometimes we don't pay attention. We can go, oh yeah, I don't want that to be the truth. I don't want that to be what I know. But what we are is messengers to each other each step of the way, that guide us in our path, that delineates the best place we can be, which is us being in our truth.
Amen, sister. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Definitely, I know, and we all need this energy right now, right? And honestly, you are walking the walk just by being here today, being willing to inspire others.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Love you.
Love you, Robyn.